Hi, I am Chandler Domingos. I'm an artist and a national park enthusiast. Pretty recent, hasn't been lifelong, but it will be lifelong now. But I'm here to tell you about the National Park Passport Book Program. And I have the collector's edition, and I spent more money for this because there's more space. But there are smaller options which are much more pocket friendly. A, because they fit in your pocket better. B, because they don't take as much out of your pocketbook. But let's take a tour of the passport book. I love using this because I am a traveler that wants to check off everything on a list. So for national parks, I want to go to every single national park. But I would lose my mind if I didn't have a way to track it. So this helps track, and you also just have something to look forward to when you get to the park and get to go get your cancellation. It is technically called a cancellation, the stamp that you receive, and it looks something like this. So some places will have more of like an animal if it's one of the main visitor centers. And this is mostly what you'll get at most places. It'll have the date. The park ranger changes the date every morning to be the correct date. Just make sure that it's the right date if you are there early in the morning, maybe one of the first few people getting the cancellation. Obviously not the end of the world, but you do want to reflect the accurate date. So this is from the Grand Canyon, and this is actually one of the first cancellations that I got. Actually, I think the first cancellation that I received. And it was during COVID in September of 2020. So actually, I just had to get a cancellation like out of a basket with cancellation. So this was not the correct date. It was from the day before. They didn't have any for that day, but I grabbed one anyway. So that's why it's on a piece of paper like this. They weren't wanting people like touching the cancellation stamp. Here's some other ones. So practice sheets so that you can see which way the stamp is facing, get your technique down. This was an odd one. There was no date on it, so I wrote it in. It says September 17th. Everything's backwards on this, sorry. This is from Montezuma Castle. So I may have got a little overzealous. I don't do this anymore, but I took two. Why? It was not needed. I probably took something away from someone who needed a cancellation, but I just started and it was exciting, and who knows if I would lose one. This one is for Mill Springs Battlefield National Monument in Nancy, Kentucky. I have not been here. I'm not really that into like battlefields, but I saw this on a hike when I was in the Smoky Mountain National Park, and I have an eye for cancellations, I guess, so I picked it up. I did not take it to the Lost and Found, so if you're watching this and you missed, like you dropped this comment, I guess, but you have to tell me which trail you think you lost it on. I like it though. I don't really want to send it back, but I will. Gosh, I'm really sounding like a kind of terrible person. All right, so let's take a tour of the book. Those are some of the cancellations. So again, if you don't have your book with you, there are typically pieces of paper and you can just stamp it on a piece of paper. Some of the parks in the visitor center or the store, they'll sell round stickers, and it's like $5 or $7, and you can stamp onto that sticker, place the sticker directly in your book. I think that's a ripoff. And hey, support our national parks, but I personally wouldn't spend money on that. Okay, so This is my book, so it opens up and it has some information about how to use the book. But we don't need to look at that because I'm going to tell you. So first, I look at the regions when I'm going to a park because you'll need to know where the park is on which page. It is color coded. You can kind of see the difference in colors here. So it's color coded by region. So I have most recently gone to the southeast region. I was in North Carolina, South Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee. Actually drove through Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, all the way back to Oklahoma. And it was a great drive because I got to see a lot of the U.S. So the very first part of this book, this is also on the smaller book as well. These are called stamps. So what they are stickers. And whenever you go to a national park in the visitor center, most of them will have these sheets of stickers. There's going to be one large one in the middle, and then there are going to be smaller ones throughout that are about this size. So these pretty much is just like a collector's thing, like collecting baseball cards. You can go through and place stickers on their spots. So here I have quite a few. I have not been to these places. I just had a sticker sheet. That goes by year. So every year there's like one from each region, and then there is a national stamp. So this one is from the 1988 book, and then I think I have one from 2013. So I don't really buy these at every stop I go to because it does get expensive, but if I feel inclined, I'll get one. And it is fun to find the sticker and place it in the book. It also gives you a bit of information about a park that you haven't been to or maybe wouldn't normally go to. For instance, this says 2013 North Atlantic Regional Stamp. It's the Longfellow House, Washington's headquarters National Historic Site. Built in 1759, this mansion served as George Washington's first major headquarters during the American Revolution. 6 decades later, poet Henry Wadsworth Longfellow began 45 years of residence. Hey, quick tidbit, I think I'm related to Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, or some poet. I think it's him. But neither here nor there. I don't know how to edit videos yet, so I'm not editing that out. But anyhow, these are the stickers, so they can be fun, but they're not something that I'm rushing to get done just because this sticker sheets are about $6.95 each, and whenever I'm buying whatever else from the store, it adds up. So I said I went to the southeast region, so I'm going to look for that color. It's like the pinkish or fuchsia. So here we have the southeast region. So whenever I'm going to a region, I like to go to the main page and I'll look up what spots there are. So in my book, because it's a collector's edition, it has all the spots listed. So not just national parks, it also has national historic sites, national monuments, recreation areas, battlefields. There are a lot of different types of parks that you can go to, and there is a key. You'll learn the abbreviations which once you become like a real nerd. But whenever I was driving through, we were looking. So we saw that we were driving from Kentucky down to Tennessee to get to the Smoky Mountains National Park. And we also went to Mammoth Cave. So on the way to Mammoth Cave, we saw that the Abraham National Birthplace was on the way. And it was just 10 miles sorry, 10 minutes out of the way. So the exit was along the route, a little bit off the trail and back. I like to do bathroom breaks and like walking, stretching breaks at National Historic places along the way, because you get to use their bathroom, you get to see a spot. We didn't spend a long time here, probably 40 minutes, but we walked around, we got to see it. I could say I've been there. And I actually became a junior ranger there because I told them that when I was in Yellowstone, I was trying to get the junior ranger activity book, but it was like $3, but you had to put it in this box, and they couldn't give me any change, and I only had a 10. And I'd been on a big road trip going to all these national parks, so I'd already spent quite a lot of money to just fork over $7. So I didn't get the book. Anyway, I told them a very vague summary of that story, and the park ranger was like, oh, well, here you go, and gave me an activity kit and a little badge and a pencil for the Abraham Lincoln National Birthplace, or what is it? Oh, yeah, birthplace. So that was really fun and exciting. Sorry. I was thrilled. I didn't go to national parks as a kid, so I didn't get the opportunity to be a junior ranger. So if any of you all are hating because I am an adult or appear to be doing a junior ranger, well, you're probably right. It's probably a little embarrassing, but I have a little shame when I like something. So anyhow, I look at what spots to go to because before I really knew about national parks and that I was going to be obsessed with them, I've driven past so many. I literally was probably 2 minutes away from the Rocky Mountain National Park. I was in the White Sands National Monument when it was a monument still, and didn't get a stamp, didn't get anything, didn't realize it was a national park, whatever. And there are a lot of other spots along the way too, and some of these places can be desolate and kind of out of the way, like not much else around, or there's not much reason for you to be back in that region again. So you do want to do some research to see what is around you, what is near you, and go there while you can. Why not? You have to do bathroom breaks anyway. Obviously, you're not going to stop at all of them. Not all of them are going to be interesting to you, but whenever I do it, it adds like spontaneity to the trip, and you get to see more places, and most importantly, you get stamps. Cancellations, but you stamp it. So I will mention that on the National Park app, you can look up by state what places give stamps. Like you can see how many stamps does this state have. I keep saying stamps, it's cancellation. How many cancellations does this state have? And it will show you all the spots that you can get cancellations. So you can look that up on the app as well. But here's what a cancellation looks like. And this one had the outline or the stamp of Abe's birth house. And I went on April 13th, 2021. So that was in Kentucky. And then here is Mammoth Cave. So Mammoth Cave had bats and a junior ranger stamp. So these are typically for children, which I guess I am. So I got it. So I went there on the same day. And then turning the page. So here's another example of a stamp that I've not been here, but I purchased the 2001 sticker sheet, and that was included. So here's Congaree National Park. The park ranger did the sticker, and he didn't give a rip. He didn't even know what cancellations were. He did it upside down, and he just was not excited for me at all. So I acted like it was no big deal that he put my cancellation upside down. but whatever, I still have it. Here is the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. So here, this place has multiple visitor centers. So you're gonna come to some national parks that have multiple visitor centers. Grand Teton has quite a few. Yellowstone has quite a few. Great Smoky Mountains is another example. So this first one that we came into was the Sugarlands, and this is Kleeman's Dome. So this is at the top, like you go up a windy trail to the top of the mountain. It's the highest point, and you get a great overlook, and you can get a cancellation for going there. So these are fun because who doesn't want to get multiple stamps when you go to a place? Then there's extra space in my book. So the smaller book, it's tiny, it's blue, it's like that. It's really like the size of a checkbook. And mine has like a specific spot for each park. But that one, it's just the region, and then you're just like all your stamps for that region go there. You might like that because whenever you, I guess it's going to be like in chronological order of when you visited. So if you put your earliest park that you went to at the beginning of that region section, that's great. But it can fill up pretty quick, especially if you're in a densely populated region, like densely populated of national parks. You're going to fill up pretty fast, especially if they have other cool stamps like this bear or like this manual labor representation or junior ranger stamps. So I also got the Trail of Tears National Historic Trail. So there are going to be parks that are along historic trails. I went to Craters of the Moon in Idaho, and that was along the Oregon Trail. So I got an Oregon Trail, and that was one of the first like trail cancellations that I got that made me aware that you could happen upon that. Appalachian National Scenic Trail, Maine to Georgia. That one I believe was received in the Smoky Mountains. And Blue Ridge Parkway, that's also near the Smoky Mountains. So you can get so many cancellations. They're so fun. Knob Creek Farm, it's down the street from Abraham Lincoln National Historic. We didn't actually go there, but you got to be flexible with the rules that you give yourself. I say, hey, if they have the stamp there, then I'm getting it. I don't have to go to the actual place. They're not going to have like, you know, a stamp from the other side of the country. Like they're going to have it if you're very close to it. So anyhow, this has been my longest video to record yet. But I can't tell you how much fun I have with these, and it's really great to look back on. I just started getting these cancellations in 2020 in September, and I'm going to keep doing it forever. And hopefully like I'll fill this book up and have to get another one. But it's a great memento to look back on, and you get all this information about the parks, and even better is it gives you information about what else is nearby that you might otherwise miss out on if you don't know how to research and look for those things. Last thing, there's a map that comes with it. It comes in the regular, like the standard checkbook size one, and it also comes, of course, in the collector's edition. So it is a full-size map, and this gives you every single national park, whatever, and it gives you all the information. Don't lose this because there's only like one printed per book, so it's not a map that you can get whenever you go to the visitor center. So I've been able to see a lot of places to visit with this as well. It's a beautiful map. If you like national parks, I'm assuming you might like maps. Hope this was informational. I hope that you are excited to start your collection of cancellations for national parks. And any friend or relative that I've gone on a trip with, I have bought them a book because they were not into it and didn't want it, and I forced it upon them. And lo and behold, they got excited about it and wanted to collect them. Support your national parks. They're great. We need to save the earth. Bye. Subscribe to my channel. I haven't figured out the pointing thing. Ugh, I don't want to figure out how to edit videos. Goodbye.